It was supposed to be just another forgotten box in a police evidence room, the kind no one opens because no one remembers why it exists. Ethan Cole found it while cataloging files on his final night as an intern, a black notebook sealed in plastic, warm to the touch. The first page carried a sentence that made his chest tighten. Write the name, picture the face, decide the end. He laughed it off until that same night. A notorious Chicago real estate mogul collapsed on live television, choking exactly as Ethan had jokingly written hours earlier. Fear rushed in, followed by disbelief, then a dangerous thrill. Ethan tested it again with a small, time criminal whose face he knew well. By morning, the man was dead. The notebook wasn't a joke. It was a weapon, and America had unknowingly placed it in his hands. The next morning, new sentences appeared in the notebook, as if carved by invisible claws. Rules explained themselves without mercy. Deaths must appear natural. Time and method could be controlled. Distance meant nothing. As Ethan read, the air behind him grew heavy. A towering skeletal figure emerged, grinning with hollow eyes. It called itself the Witness, and claimed it existed only to observe the final moments of humans whose names were written. Elsewhere, FBI profiler Lena Morales stared at a wall of crime photos, noticing something impossible. Criminals across multiple states were dying in perfectly timed, statistically unreal ways. Patterns formed where chaos should exist. Someone, somewhere, was choosing who lived and who died. When masked accounts online began praising an unseen executioner known as the Judge, Ethan felt justified. Crime rates dropped overnight. Violent offenders died before they could pull triggers. He wrote names with shaking hands but a steady conscience, believing he was saving lives. Then the notebook betrayed him. One morning, he woke to find a name already written in his handwriting. A schoolteacher died that afternoon in a car accident. Ethan hadn't chosen her. The witness watched, smiling wider than before. Justice had crossed into something darker, something alive. The public begged the judge to keep killing. Unaware innocence was already bleeding into the list. Federal pressure tightened like a noose. Lena's task force traced impossible coincidences to Ethan's movements, his searches, his silences. Surveillance footage caught him whispering before sudden deaths. When Lena finally confronted him in a train station, demanding answers, a U.S. Senator collapsed mid-speech on a nearby screen, dead within seconds. Ethan hadn't written the name. Panic tore through him as one truth became clear. Another notebook existed. Someone else was playing God, and they didn't share his rules. The second writer revealed himself through terror. Marcus Vail, a former Marine hardened by war and rage, believed fear was the only law America understood. His deaths were theatrical, public, cruel. City infrastructures failed as key figures died simultaneously. News anchors trembled reading headlines that felt like prophecies. Ethan and Marcus began countering each other, names crossing out names, deaths colliding with deaths. The witness multiplied, shadows crowding rooms, feeding on the growing harvest. America became a battlefield ruled by invisible ink. As Ethan's reflection aged overnight, the notebook revealed its final cruelty. Every name written stole years from the writer's life. Marcus laughed when he learned, welcoming his decay. Ethan broke. Lena, now knowing the truth, faced an impossible choice: reveal the notebooks and plunge the nation into madness, or manipulate the killers from the shadows. She chose control, guiding events quietly while pretending ignorance, hoping the gods destroying America would destroy each other first. During a live presidential broadcast, Lena set her trap. Marcus wrote names in celebration, believing he had won. Ethan hesitated, hands trembling, watching millions of eyes glued to their screens. In a moment of clarity, he wrote Marcus's name, ending the chaos. Then, with tears burning his eyes, he wrote his own. The witness screamed as if robbed of its purpose. Ethan collapsed as the broadcast cut to static, his sacrifice sealing the notebook's silence. The black notebook burned to ash, the witness vanished, and America slowly exhaled. Officially, no explanation was ever given. Years later, in a quiet Ohio town, a child pulled a dusty book from a school library shelf. Inside the cover, written in faint, familiar ink, waited a single sentence: "Write the name, picture the face, decide the end."